What happened in the Cayman Islands, did that alter how you guys view the ceiling of this team at all?
Well, I don't know that we've ever questioned what the ceiling of this team was. I think we all felt from the start that we have some potential. We're just a young group, and when's it all going to come together, you don't know. And we certainly made really good strides on the offensive end in the Cayman Islands. Got a little bit of our mojo back, and hopefully that's here to stay. Defensively, we're still a work in progress, and we will be. At times we really show signs of being a very good defensive team, and times it looks like we've never practiced before. So those are the things we have to continue to improve upon.
Is winning Tyshawn, the performance he had, can you just talk about what type of game he had?
Well, it was incredible. Tyshawn was, he's very confident to start with, but that confidence has come from a lot of hard work. He really spent a lot of time in the gym last spring, this summer, and I think as we were moving towards the end of the summer, I think to a man on our staff, we would have said he was the most improved player in our program from the end of the season to where he was at that point. So, he's earned the position that he's in through a lot of hard work, and obviously he's going to be a little bit more of a marked man now. Shots can be harder to come by, and he's just got to continue to play basketball the right way. His assist-to-turnover numbers are good. He's doing other things to impact the game besides scoring.
When you looked at that film, just him individually, what did you like about it? What stood out about that performance? I mean, we see 36 points, and that obviously is something, but I wonder from your eye, what did you see?
Well, he scored at a lot of different levels. He got to the free throw line, shot some threes in transition, shot some threes off some set plays, did some things off the dribble when they ran him off the three-point line and got to the paint and made some plays. So, he's become pretty complete, and the exciting thing is there's still a lot of room for him to grow. But he had a lot of confidence and was rolling, and his teammates did a good job of finding him and getting him the ball in positions he could score.
Is winning a tournament like this important for a team?
I think anytime you win a championship, it's important for your team. 8 teams go there with the same thing in mind. You want to enjoy the experience, but you want to win. And we were the one that came out on top, so I think it gives them some confidence. I think it hopefully was able to breed some confidence in offensively when we do what we're supposed to do, when the floor is spaced and we play with pace, that's going to present opportunities. Now, you still have to make the shots, but there's a method to that madness, and it came together much better in the Caymans than it did in our first 3 home games. I hope so. Having said all that, we're a hard team to prepare for overnight, and which is maybe part of the reason we have success in that type of environment. If you don't practice against our pace and the spacing that we have, it's going to be tricky. And you still have to make the shots, and we shot the ball extremely well while we were over there. But I think the guys believe in it. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not an easy way to play basketball. It's a fun thing to watch when it works. But it's demanding physically to play the way that we play, and then to have to turn around and do what I expect them to do on the defensive end. So that's why depth was so important. And as you look at that Clemson game, guys like Caleb Joseph and Connor Cashaw really came in and gave us a great lift. Jacob Epperson did some good things. Sam Froling played well off the bench all week. So if you're going to play the way we play, you have to have some depth, and our depth has done a good job. I don't know that he'll practice today. I think it's improving, but he's still a little slow.
Have you found a successful rotation you believe that you're going to be set with now with the small lineup and then one big?
I think we're getting closer. I think there's teams we can play 2 bigs against. There weren't many teams that we could do that against in the Caymans. I'm not sure Montana's one of those teams. Gonzaga could be one of those teams later this week. So it's going to be matchup based, but obviously the small lineup provides some spacing that maybe the other lineup doesn't.
You have to emphasize to the team not to look at it Saturday.
We haven't talked one thing about Gonzaga, and Montana won 26 games last year. They returned all 5 starters. So if that doesn't have our attention, we're not very smart.
What about Montana? What were your thoughts about that?
They're just a really good basketball team. They're very sound. Defensively, they do a terrific job. They make it difficult to score in transition, which is what we like to do. So, we may have to find other ways to score. They're disruptive defensively with some of their pressure. then offensively, they've just got some guys that have played together. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They got guys that can shoot it. They really put pressure on the rim. There was a 3-point game to Michigan in the NCAA tournament at halftime last year, and ended up 13 or 14 in the end. But this is a very, very good basketball team. It's going to win a lot of games before the season's over. I think Jacob feels better. I've noticed it in practice. He isn't limping around quite as much. I don't know if it was the ocean water. We get an Aussie back in the ocean and everything's good. I don't know, but he had a bounce in his step that he hasn't had consistently, and I think he's feeling a little bit more confident, and that carried over into practice on Saturday, and hopefully he can have a couple good days leading up to Montana.
2 more.
Greg, they shared the NAT rankings today, and I know it's really early, but how much will you monitor those types of things, and will it have any impact at all on how you approach it?
Well, I have no idea what it means, except for the number. And if somebody could explain it to me, that might be helpful, but I'm not sure the people who came up with it know exactly what it means. And like the RPI of the past, it's way too early. It's such a small sample size that, really, I wish we'd wait like football does. Just wait till you're 2/3 of the way through the season and then publish the first rankings. It's really meaningless right now.
What was the feeling down there in the Cayman Islands for you and that big performance you had in the finals? What did you think?
It felt good. Mostly coming out there to a beautiful weather, and also just coming out to get a championship win was huge. Our team was really prepared for it. We had our bodies right, we had our minds focused, and we just came out here and we just got the win.
What got into you that night? I mean, 36 points, it's the most since Doug McDermott has scored in Creighton, most by a Blue Jay. What does that say?
Pretty much is a huge accomplishment. Doug, pretty much throughout the off season, I really tried to sit there and put my time in as much as I can in the court to sit there and get better and prepare myself for what's coming up. Taz and Marcus did an excellent job of sitting there helping me to sit there prepare to get to this moment, and also prepare to sit there and get on for the rest of the season.
Did you notice anything throughout the weekend, maybe throughout even as the Clemson game wore on, as the more you got going, the more defenses tried to take certain things away from you, and you feel that's something
Pretty much I know defense is going to be heavy on me a lot, but that's not going to sit there and stop me from sitting there trying to sit there and get somebody else a better shot. Mostly sit there and make plays for other teammates, and then just let the game just flow to me and just see how that goes.
How does winning one of these preseason tournaments kind of change the confidence level of the team?
It's huge. Clemson's a very good team, and we mostly just came out here and just sat there and tried to get a dub. Our fans, our teammates, our coaches, everybody they helped us out a lot, and we pretty much just came out here mind focused and ready to play.
What's kind of the feeling of this team after you guys really played with Ohio State? Maybe not the outcome you wanted, then you turn around and you win 3 straight, including one over a top 20 team.
Yeah, it's huge. We look back on the Ohio State game of the likes of things that we need to just sit there and fix. We talked about it during practice. We talked about what we need to do in the Cayman Islands, and we got that done.
What was the good and bad for you just individually? You kind of hinted at it with your performance, but when you watched film, what stood out about that 36-point game against Clemson for you?
Pretty much on the defensive side, everybody was in their gas. We really talked. Offensive side, we was finding shots. We got it to the high hands. Teeny did an excellent job of what he needed to do throughout the offensive and defensive side. So he sat there and let the game come back to him, because he was really having a little downside game throughout the whole entire weekend. So it was good to sit there and have him come back into it.
Yeah, I heard you say that on the radio, that Teeny, what he brought on Wednesday against Clemson was different than Monday and Tuesday. How important is it for him to sort of kind of set the tone for you guys?
It's huge, because Teeny's he is our leader on the team, so he has to come out here, even though he can barely speak English, but he still has to come out here.
Don't tell Teeny that.
Yeah, it's tough, but he still has to come out here with a lot of energy, just sit there and just talk to make sure he's doing his right job, and also to make sure everybody else is too. Even though he might not get the ball as much as he wants to, but he finally figured that out now, and he's letting the game just sit there come to him.
3 more. Were you surprised by your 36-point? I mean, that kind of came out of nowhere for us, just because there hasn't been a guy score that many since Doug. You personally, did it surprise you?
It kind of did. I mean, my free throw percentage it was real bad throughout the season. So I was 11-11 from the line. That really helped it out a lot. And pretty much my shot was falling, so I just kept shooting the ball.
What was the difference there at the line? I mean,
I talked to my mom and dad, and I told me that I got to use more of my legs.
Oh, really?
So I was shooting the ball but straight arms. So it was you got to use more legs.
Is it hard not to look ahead at all, to know who you have at the end of the week when you still have a game midweek?
No. We know what we have to sit there and do. We're prepared for Montana right now. We know what we have to sit there and do throughout the outcome. Obviously, Gonzaga comes Saturday, and we're just going to sit there and prepare for that and make sure our bodies and everything is right so we can keep playing.
What does it mean to just come home off that big win and have, the fans behind you and just the confidence?
It's good because now we can sit there and have more fans come through and sit there and get most of all our games packed now, so we can mostly just put on the show and make sure everybody's happy throughout the outcome. Thank you very much.